What's going on, guys? Welcome to June's episode of Plus Club, the show where we play the games offered to us for free on PlayStation Plus, play them throughout the month, and then we talk about it. Hopefully, you guys had a chance to play XCOM 2 and Trials Fusion. And just so you know, next month, the games have already been announced. We'll be playing Heavy Rain and Absolver, so make sure to download those, play those throughout the month. We'll talk about it at the end of next month. And our game of the month this month is Warframe. We'll be talking about that tomorrow, so make sure to play that. It's free to play. You can download it on almost anything. Play it, come back tomorrow. We'll talk about it. But today we are talking about XCOM 2 and Trials Fusion. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
I'm Chris.
And another quick reminder real fast. We got a Discord, so go down the description box, hit the link, talk to us anytime there, post some memes. It's a fun time. And we're on most podcast places, so if you'd like to listen to us on iTunes or other things, links down below. And if you're listening to us, make sure to come check us out on YouTube at Tasty Loot Gaming. And I'm also going to apologize ahead of time. I am currently sick, which sucks, so if I sound like shit and I'm all over the place,
drugged,
I'm all over the place, which I already have been, and you've been warned. But it should be a good conversation. So yeah, like I said before, we played XCOM 2 and Trials Fusion this month. We should probably start off with Trials Fusion. So if you didn't get a chance to play Trials Fusion, it is the sequel to the game Trials, in which you play from a 2D perspective, kind of dirt bike, and you're essentially trying to get from point A to point B as fast as you can, doing tricks in some modes, and getting over obstacles. If you crash, you reset from checkpoints, or you can reset the whole thing like I do, because I have to I can't accept fucking going back to a checkpoint. And yeah, it's a pretty simple game. It's pretty fun. So yeah, who wants to jump in first? General impressions.
Okay. So if you also played the other Ubisoft Plus game that we had, which was I forgot the name of it now, Trackmania. Kind of a similar concept, point A, point B. Less about the tricks, I'd say, this time though. But
what is?
I'm getting my game names mixed up now. Trials.
Oh, it has
It does. It just seems like the other game focuses more on that. This one focuses more on just trying to get you to crash. So, and making it more of an obstacle to get to the end. Mm-hmm. At least that's how I feel about it. Okay. So general impressions. I mean, it's a fun game. It's challenging, which is great. It also, with the ghosts in there with people on your friends list who've played it, you can be competitive without having to actually compete against them in real time. So it actually works for me as well in that regard. It's one thing I always give credit to, like Call of Duty Ghosts. They had the squad mode, which was kind of like that too, where you could just play against someone but not actually play against them. Weird little middle ground. I'm surprised more people don't do that.
It is interesting that it is a competitive way to play the game in a not personal way. Even though I did post something on Twitter directly towards Paul, who's been on the channel, that I was ahead of him, his ghost on one track, and I fucking crashed right at the finish line. I was just pissed because I'd been trying over and over and over to beat that fucking time, and then fucking I crashed. My guy's just laying on the ground staring at him like, you got past the fucking finish line. Why did I win? I'm like, I'm sending this to him. He's got to see this. And then he's like, yeah, but he rolled off the bike, like you hit your head on the ground. I was like, what? And I watched. I was like, fuck. I was so fucking frustrated. I didn't even notice that. So I did it again, and I did a better time that time, so it didn't even matter. But
I mean, overall, it's a simple concept, but it takes a lot to master. So I think I really appreciate the entry point and the mastery point in that game. They did a really good. I think there's a good balance. So
yeah. The game starts you out in kind of like the bunny slopes, fucking pretty easy stuff, and then gets ramped up quite a bit. If you have any history with the series, you know that towards the end of the game, the trials get really fucking hard. In the first game, there's one that I spent like an hour or two just trying to get through it. Like I kept fucking up and resetting because you were bouncing on one wheel on fucking sticks essentially straight up, trying to get across there and do all this vertical stuff where you had to climb slowly and lean forward and kind of fucking bunny hop from the side up over a ridge that comes out over you, so you gotta like get your wheel hooked over. It's so fucking frustrating. But going into my impressions, I fucking love this shit. It reminds me of Super Meat Boy in the sense that it is it does ease you in at first, but then it is very fucking challenging later, and I get a good sense of accomplishment. The competition aspect, typically if I just see a score in a game, I don't care about it, but when people's ghosts are there with me, I have this competitive need to fucking beat them, and I did that. I went through and I beat fucking everybody's scores, and that was last week, and then I came back like 4 days or 3 days ago, and I checked, and fucking Oli Cody and fucking Rock and Kroll both had came in, snuck in, and fucking beat my scores. And I was like, this can't stand. So I went through and I fucking just got the top score in all those again. Spent way too much time doing that, but I did. And the one that I couldn't beat, that you had me beat on, the fucking the hill that you fly off of, my second try I beat you somehow. So that's one of those games you gotta, like, if you can't do it, stop playing. Come back later.
Oh, for sure. Super Meat Boy is that way too, though.
Oh, absolutely. There's parts I couldn't beat in that, and then fucking I came back later. I'm like, that was easy. What the fuck happened?
Frustration.
Yeah. I think I got like, yeah. That's the thing. You get clouded in this kind of game, but I love that. But it is one of, I don't get frustrating games too easily, but this game and Super Meat Boy are like some of the only games, and Dark Souls, if something stupid happens. Like the fucking camera goes up my ass, I can't see, and then I die. I'm like, cool. It happens. But yeah, I love the challenge of the game. I think the game is really simple in the way you play it, and I really like that because you can just hop in, hop out. And yeah, the competitive aspect's probably one of my favorite parts about the game. You can build tracks. I didn't do any in this one, but in the last one I made like 3 or 4 tracks. So the reason I didn't do it this time is because I spent way too much time in the last game doing that. I made some really intricate tracks. But yeah, it's pretty much the same game. It sucked too because I had played this game when it actually came out. So did you.
Yeah, I bought
and all my scores were recorded from back then, but like my ghosts were gone and a bunch of weird shit. Like I had to redo everything to get, I don't know. It was weird. Like I was racing, I don't know, fuck, there's something about it. I don't remember. I'm hopped up on fucking Sudafed and shit. But yeah, it didn't carry over certain things, but it said that I'd done the track. Sometimes my score wouldn't even be there, but then my ghost would be in there. It was weird. So something happened on the network. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. But yeah, really fun. Really, really dug it. Really easy game to just hop into and play and have fun. So, Chris.
It was a lot of fun. I played a lot of it until the difficulty level just got too high for me. And it, like you said, it's kind of like bunny slips at first, and then it just goes straight to double black diamond.
Yeah.
At least that's my like okay, I can do this. And I was like, fuck you. I'm spending half an hour just trying to complete like one level, like resetting from last checkpoint over and over again.
Yeah, I feel that. And one thing I want to add to that real quick is it's funny because like, and you experienced this when we played NAC, but there was this moment where like I kept looking at the scores. I'm like, I gotta beat all these people. And like somebody be ahead of me, I'd beat them and blah, blah, blah. And then after one point in the game, it was like me and Chevy's scores. Everybody was done at that point. And I was just looking at Chevy and I'm like, I'll come back later and beat him. So there's an area where Chevy's still ahead of me, but it was just funny. All the names are gone all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, this is where people don't want to play anymore.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
And I just played till gold. So
yeah.
I couldn't master the bunny hop. I don't know what it is about it. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm sure if I went back and tried to do a lot of the bunny hopping now, I'd probably have a hard time because I briefly revisited this for Plus Club because after playing it, I was like, I remember this game very well from when I played it the first time.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually, my experience this time was mostly, I tried some of the custom tracks that people had made, and I messed with the editor a little bit. So, but yeah, once they start making you like manipulate your bike and specifically like being at the right balance to launch yourself off of things or landing on things like just smoothly to not screw up your momentum, that's when the game really kind of just gets rough. So
there was one fucking track where I was trying to beat everybody's scores, and fucking there was an area where I wasn't landing correctly. Everybody was kind of like slowing down on a jump and landing area and going through this thing like perfectly and flying off of it. Yeah. And I was like, I can do that, but I want to get enough of a lead that that if they try and come at me again, they're not going to be able to. And so like I fucking launched further, and there's this weird cliff thing, and you always kind of hit it, and it fucks up the whole thing, and you don't make it. But I hit it, and my back tire hit it, and I leaned forward as hard as I could and did a fucking front flip, and then landed on my 2 tires and kept going.
Oh shit!
And it gave me a huge lead, yeah. So I was just like trying to like figure out new ways to get less time.
I would say one of my favorite things is like if you hit a jump that you're not supposed to go fast on, like, you know, obviously you can if you're like you were just kind of explaining, if you know how to manipulate it better.
Yeah.
But you know, you could tell the obvious intent is for you to land a little bit ahead of it, but it'll be like a small flat surface or something. And I love if you like just manage to barely nick it with your back tire and you don't screw up your balance and you just kind of like and then bounce forward off of it. That's such a great feeling in this game. Because then you like, you don't screw up your momentum and you landed where you weren't supposed to.
Just landing and keeping momentum in general is the best feeling in the world. And fucking landing and slowing down as you go, ugh, and just fucking, you know, your bike hits the dirt is the worst feeling in the world. Oh, and I hate that.
Especially if you launch and you land on a slope and you just go and you roll back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, no.
One of my favorite things though is when you fuck up and like you're either you don't make the landing and you like slow down too early, so like as you're flying in, your dude's head just gets caught on the cliff and your bike just takes like with it, and your guy goes ugh, and just like fucking does a backflip. Like even though I fuck up, I'm like, that was hilarious. I'll just let it happen and watch it.
Yeah.
Or like your front tire gets on there and the rest of the bike goes under whatever you're trying to land on and you just get stuck.
You're just dangling, yeah.
One time I was able to fucking bounce my bike back up around that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was stupid. I already fucked up my time, but I was like, let's see if I can do it.
The only slight disappointment I had with the game was that I never got to ride the unicorn.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, it ties into the fact that I couldn't choose whatever vehicle I wanted for any of the courses. Like, they have set vehicles for certain courses, and I get like the first time through, maybe they have you run it on the vehicle they want you to run it through. But I felt like I had better control at playing the quad than I did any of the motorcycles. So I was like hoping I could continue playing with it through other courses, but I didn't.
Well, I believe that there's 2 sections of vehicles. The first section of vehicles is for the trials aspect, and you can use any of those vehicles as you unlock them on prior trials. But the trick section is where the quad came in, and the more agile bike that moves in the air better. So those 2 you're not going to be able to use on the majority of the tracks because, those are for tricks, which does kind of suck. But you should, if it is within the like parameters of the type of race you're doing, if you unlock bikes later, you should be able to go back and use those. So I don't know if the unicorn, I never unlocked it, or I don't know if you have to buy it or not. There's a lot of DLC in that game. I didn't realize they released that much stuff, which is cool to see, but I wasn't too interested in picking it up because I haven't beaten the fucking game. But yeah. It just depends on what you're doing. I got to the point where I was getting to the trick courses, and that's where I stopped playing. Is the unicorn a trick?
It's part of a DLC, I think, technically.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's for the normal trials or for the trick courses.
I don't know.
Huh.
I didn't really explore the vehicles very much. I just kind of hopped in and started playing, and I kind of had said I was trying really hard not to cut you off, so I went into a whisper there. But yeah, mostly the second bike.
Yeah,
from the majority of my play through that game. So just because
did you guys ever try the donkey? That's the mini motorcycle.
No.
Oh my god, it's so fucking hard. Like if you're not leaning forward like part way and you hold down the pedal, you'll fall. It'll just take out from underneath.
I do that landing, so
it's
I'll
so
land.
fucking hard.
I'm pretty sure they had joke vehicles like that in the first game because I remember riding something like that like would take off like that every time in the first game. It was really annoying. It was cool to have it, but like it just wasn't.
It's like a challenge vehicle.
Yeah, for sure. There's also like vehicles too after like the second vehicle in all the games. Like you get like a higher CC dirt bike that like is more powerful, and those are really it's cool to go back and play earlier tracks because you can now do them differently because you have more power. You're not going to get the same agility in the air, and you're not going to be able to land in certain areas as well, but you're going to be able to launch further off jumps and stuff like that. So that's always kind of an interesting thing to go back and do. There's a lot of even though it's a simple game, there's a lot of playability there, and there's a lot of reason to go back, especially if you're competitive. There's a fucking infinite reasons to go back and play earlier tracks if you have friends who are also doing the same.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that's also interesting is in earlier maps, it seems like you can drive a lot faster on them, and later because they're trying to make you stumble. It almost feels like you're like going at a crawl a lot of the time.
Well, yeah, towards the end of the games, they typically have more verticality and more. It becomes more technical, and it's less about jumps.
Yeah,
yeah. There'll be like a lot of points where you're like literally creeping up like something that's almost like completely vertical, and then you'll like slump over the top, and then from there you have to stop, pull the front up, and then fucking on your back wheel jump to the next thing and jump to the next thing, and then try and hook your wheel onto something and get over. So yeah, you're not driving really fast later in the game. You're just trying to get through fucking hell, and it's awful.
Yeah, I didn't make it to that point of the game. I think I stopped. God, I wish I could remember names of things, but like 1 or 2 courses after that large jump, if I'm not mistaken. So,
oh no, you're way further than that.
am I?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a while since.
Like I said, I quit playing. You still had scores ahead of me that I need to still go back and beat. But I had enough trials for that day. I went through the first like 3 or 4 sections of tracks and went through and made sure I had the top score in all of them.
Yeah, I know the.
'Cause I'm an asshole.
Yeah, when I came back, I did the first map just to kind of like refamiliarize myself. I was like, okay, I remember how to play this game. And then I jumped to the next one I was supposed to do, and I managed to get a gold on that on my like first or second try or something. I was like, okay, so, like I still remember how to play this game, blah blah blah, type thing. And I was like, okay, I get this. I want to try the stuff I didn't try when I bought it. So, and that, like I said earlier, that's what I did. So, and the player made stuff is cool. So
yeah, I didn't check that
when
out.
you can find ones that don't involve DLC because I didn't buy the DLC.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of the game that is kind of Battlefield-like in the sense it's like separating community.
Yeah.
So hopefully the next one, again, making more content, making money off it completely makes sense. But maybe do it in a way that's a little more subtle. I don't know. It seems like a lot of the game you need to be buying more to experience it. Obviously, it makes sense, but
Well, I'd understand if like in order to build the tracks and use those building blocks, you had to buy them.
Yeah.
But letting people drive on them.
yeah,
Like,
I think it'd be kind of a cool advertisement to let people drive on them and be like, "Oh, I want to build with this shit."
Exactly. So it just seems a little weird. It's probably a lot easier for them to just go, you have to own this for access to this stuff. Period.
Yeah, for sure.
But and that's probably my only complaint with the whole game, to be honest, is the
I don't-
DLC stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have an inclination to want to buy any of the stuff, but I also haven't played the game enough to go, oh shit, I think I'm like 40% through the game, so.
Yeah, I'm like 54, 57, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
percent.
like I said, you're ahead of me, so. Yeah, I don't have any complaints about it really at all. I just see that it kind of sucks, but it's whatever. But I'm a huge Trials fan, so I mean, like it's just more of the same for me. I can't wait for the next one. So, anything else you guys want to say before we get into recommendations?
No?
Give me the unicorn.
Give me the goddamn unicorn.
Do it.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it. Recommendations, yeah. I'll start. If you like the last Trials game or any of those Flash games that these pretty much come from, you probably already played this game, and if you haven't, you probably should, because it's the same thing. It's still really fun. If you like challenging games where you want to fucking beat yourself in the head with a controller and come back the next day after you wake up from your coma and do better, play this game. So like if you like Super Meat Boy, if you like platformers, if you like Dark Souls, if you like the thrill of having a challenge in a fight and then you conquer that, this game's the same feeling. And if you like that frustration of not be able to do something than doing it, it's definitely that kind of game. If you're a competitive person and you like showing up your friends, I would definitely recommend this, because it is a game that you can do that without even fucking talking to the person or seeing them. You can just play the fucking game and come back and someone beats you and you're like, well, I guess I'll beat them. And it's a competitive game that's not I don't know, shitty.
Right.
If you like sports games, like the old like ATV versus MX, whatever the fuck those things were called.
MX versus ATV.
Yeah, any kind of like off-road dirt bike type games, definitely check it out. It's 2D, but it's similar. And yeah, I'm drawing a blank because my brain's not working.
It's cool. I actually think you pretty much nailed anything I would have said. I mean, the big ones. So obviously, I mean, if you're into bikes, into competitive games, because it is definitely competitive, but also to use probably myself, and I'm gonna lump you in here, Chris, unless you think I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
You're not necessarily into competitive games, because it still was there's still a little bit of that there for people, I think, if you're not into competitive games. And I think it's because the pressure of you doing it, like, forgive the term here, but doing it live with the other person, it's just kind of recorded. You get to do it at your leisure. And then, yeah, challenging games. I think if you like Super Meat Boy is a great example, or platform games. This is pretty much that with a motorcycle. So
It's one of the only games I could be competitive with you in, because if it was something that was like actually happening at the time, you probably wouldn't be interested in doing it. So, and I mean, you're the one who gave me the biggest problems on almost all the tracks. So I was like, this is weird that I'm like competing against Chevy on something.
Well, and the reason that I even am up where I'm at is because I am competitive against myself. Weird example, but like if I go bowling, I'm not bowling against the other people. I'm trying to beat my own score usually. I
was about to say, I went through and beat everybody's scores. I also beat my old scores too. I was going against my ghosts as well. So I feel that completely too. When I'm competitive against myself as well. Yeah. But I was gonna say, if you're gonna try and play off like, well, I just barely got gold, like, no, you had some pretty high scores that were definitely up there. So and it makes sense too. If you're competitive against yourself, it makes sense. But it was just an interesting experience to play against your scores, because some of them were really fucking frustrating.
Well, that's right, because you came out and you were like asking me about it, and I was like,
how'd you do it?
That was me playing. Like,
how'd you do this? Tell me your secrets. I need to know the secret sauce.
I couldn't tell you how I did the jump. I just know that I myself tried for way longer than I would normally try to do anything in a lot of games, and
that one pissed me the fuck off.
That one's bad. And then I finally I looked it up. I was like, how do you get a gold on this?
Yeah, I didn't, dude. Before this last time I played and went through and did all that shit, I had a silver on that. I couldn't even get gold.
It's rough.
I kept trying. Then when it came back, it just clicked. It just made sense all of a sudden. And Cody's goddamn gave up. He's like 100 points behind you on that. Or not 100 points. Like, how's it scored? It's like...
Oh, I have no idea anymore.
Like point, like, or milliseconds. It's like, or not seconds, it's feet. But you're like at 125 point something. He's at 125 point something, but it's like barely lower than yours. I'm like, why wouldn't you just go a little further? Yeah. Any recommendations?
I think you nailed them. I think there's not much else to it. Maybe if you like games that control a little more realistically, since you have to lean with the bike at certain angles to make it go right ways. But yeah, I think you guys nailed it. That's
one thing I'll also add, but I don't think there's a big group of people for it, but I am part of this group of people. If you like physics-based games, this is definitely... It has good physics. I kept playing, I'm like, man, these physics are fucking like... You really got to manipulate this thing. You can really fix certain situations. I mean, I'll fly off a jump and I'll land wrong. I'll be sliding on my ass and I should be crashing, but I'd hit the brake really hard and lean forward and I'd get back on both wheels and keep driving. And like a lot of games... would probably just go, you crashed.
Oh yeah, no, I wiped my ass on some dirt for many feet trying to figure it out, and finally, the bike would finally fall on me. I'm like, ugh.
The physics are so good that I did a trick on one of the trick courses, and my guy's just in the air flopping around, and he's holding onto the bike, and as I landed, he was like sitting on it like side saddle with both his legs over, and one of his arms was touching the front wheel. And his right hand was touching the handlebar, and his head was like leaning off the bike. And the bike was just cruising, and it's like, you failed. and it's like you want to reset. My guy's still just driving down the track, flying around. I'm
He was
like,
dead.
yeah, I was like, I kind of want to see where this ends up. Like, I want to see if he finishes.
There was one trick I kept doing on one of the trick jump missions that I had to adjust for the physics of, because you would be upside down and I'd be doing like flips, and then when you remount the bike, it sends the momentum forward. So if you're not angling it right, it'll launch you off the bike. So I had to like adjust so that my momentum would carry me upright onto the track again.
The loop. The first time they make you do the loop-de-loop, is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
No, I did. I always do loop-de-loops when I'm jumping.
There's a fucking track later where it's training you how to do tricks, and you're floating on a fan or whatever, and you have you have to do all the tricks, and then it lets you land on the track, and it tells you to go. And if you crash, you got to start the whole fucking thing over again. Mm-hmm. I got so pissed. That's the one thing about this game I don't like, is that level. That's one thing I'm docking it for. That's such a bad design. There needs to be a checkpoint at that point. Because the first time I was being me and I wasn't paying attention. I was just doing flips and shit. It's like, all right, you completed this. I'm sitting there just flipping around shit. And it's like, all right, now do it off jumps. And I just landed and crashed. I was like, oh. And I hit the button to reset and it started again. It's like, all right, do the tricks in the fan. I was like, again? And then I got on there and I landed right and I drove forward. And I flew off a jump. I didn't do any tricks. And when I landed, there's a part of the track that like separates. And I hit it wrong. And I fucking landed face first. And then it's like, all right, do the tricks on the fan. I'm like, are you fuck? I had to stop. I was like, I'll come back later and play this. I can't do this right now. Like this is fucked up. Somebody who made this game is fucking with me. Like we're gonna piss Seth off. Because there's no other reason that it should be like that. The rest of the tracks work fine. Anyway, let's grade it. I'm gonna give it a very strong B+. Giving it, I was gonna give it an A-, but it doesn't offer much in terms of longevity and substance for me. I never am sitting there thinking about Trials. I just pick it up, I play it, and I love it. So B+ I think is a fair grade, really high in my opinion. It's a really fun game. I always love playing it. I don't have much complaints about it except for that fucking fan level is horrible. And I think the DLC does kind of separate the community, so hopefully they can figure out a better way for that in the next game. But yeah, I always love these games. I play them. I like I said, I don't think about them, but when I do play them, I keep playing it because I'm trying to beat those scores. I'm trying to beat my scores. I'm trying to get further. I'm trying to play those tracks that make me want to kill myself, and like I love it. So it's a really good game. B+.
I actually am also giving it a B+. Though it is definitely for what it is. Like it is a very solid game. I do think you need to be in the mood to play it. I'm sure there is a pocket of people who would disagree with me on that, but I think for the most part, not everyone's going to be like thinking about playing this all the time. So, but it plays very well. It is a lot of fun. If you have that competitiveness to you, I think it scratches that itch very well in that regard. If you don't have that necessarily against people, but you're like, I have to like pass this course the best I can, get the gold medal. It really kind of nails that in a very addictive way, I think, which I don't like using that term, but I think it really applies to this game.
I'll back that for sure, because it's almost impossible for me to put that down until I do what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So, very good game. I also think that most people can play it, and I have some proof of that because my girlfriend, who does not play games, did actually sit down and learn how to play this game and did, quite a few courses of it, and she literally won't play anything. So
yeah, I think between the concept just being straightforward, everyone's gonna look at the game and know what the fuck to do, and then trying to get a better score, which is something that all humans love. Just seeing numbers go up makes you feel good. I think it's got a really good formula.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. I'm going to give it a B+ too. I was kind of struggling with A-, B+, but I think B+ is a good grade for it. What it does offer, it's fun and entertaining, but it does tend to get intense pretty quickly as far as controls go. So I think that a lot of the casual crowd will fall off and lose the longevity of the game that I hear about so much that people just get addicted to because it gets so technical later on. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just not something I was really hoping for so quickly. I knew it was in the game, it just came quicker than I wanted it to. But yeah, it's fun, and you go back over and over again trying to get better and better scores. I just wish that I could ride all the bikes on all the courses, but personal gripes.
I think it would be cool, even if they gave some kind of edge that was unfair for that structured track, if they could still let you use bikes on all tracks, but if they're not for that, not allow your score to be uploaded.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you can still just have fun and be like, I want to ride this. And you can still tell people like, oh, I did it this fast, or I did this, blah, 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 with that bike or that quad. But, just to make it fair for people, like, this thing's going to do way too well on these tracks that were designed for these bikes. So if you're going to use it, it doesn't count. Like, I think that would probably, I'm really surprised they don't do that. They put the fucking vehicles in the game already. You should have the freedom to use them anywhere. So kind of agree with that. I thought the same thing too when I got the ATV, because like, oh cool, I got the ATV, and then like I went back to older tracks and it's like all the other bikes I had, I was like, oh, lame, because I don't really like the trick tracks as much.
Yeah,
those are really frustrating. Anything else you guys want to say?
Oh, I think that's about does it actually.
Yeah, it was actually
give
really long.
me the unicorn.
Give it to me. Do it. Yeah, let us know in the comments, what did you think of Trials Fusion? What would you grade it? Did you play the last one? Are you looking forward to the next one? And do you not care about these games? Let me know everything you think about when it comes to Trials Fusion. Next game we played this month was, and I'm pulling my phone out as if I can't remember it. I do remember it. XCOM 2. I was like, what game is this? And then the whole time I'm like, XCOM 2. And I'm like, what is it though? And I'm like, XCOM 2. XCOM 2. We played XCOM 2, which is obviously the sequel to the original XCOM, the new XCOM series, in which it is a turn-based strategy game, in a sense, right? Mm-hmm. Where you get random soldiers and you are fighting against aliens in multiple different types of environments, urban areas, wood areas, blah, 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 with objectives, some that have some really fucking stupid time limits. And yeah, as you progress through the game, you either perma-die with your characters if you die, or you level up and get new perks, and they slide right into some new fucking classes and get some cool stuff. You get weapons, you craft shit, and it's a game with aliens and stuff. Let's jump into impressions. Chris, I'm dying to know what you think.
So I really enjoy strategy style games, but something about this one just didn't do it for me. And I'm not sure what it was. Maybe the fact that my characters died instantly, and there was no like what I'm used to, where like you get like a couple moments to like get them back up, like 2 turns, and they're perma-dead. Nope, it's just they're dead. And the cover system, although it's nice, it doesn't really, unless it's like full cover, it doesn't really seem to do much.
Yeah.
So I got frustrated really quickly with the game, and the overcomplication of the base, with like all the different sections, having to do all different things, I became very overwhelmed, which doesn't really happen a lot for me in games. But it was just like kind of like all thrown at me all at once. I don't know, something about this just didn't click for me. So I ended up playing like a couple of missions here and there and got frustrated and stopped playing.
Yeah.
Especially like when my really good characters, like they took a chunk of damage and then they were out for like I don't know how long. And I was like, well, fuck, I've got these shitty characters now I gotta go through these harder missions with. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. So I gotta say, because you said you were dying to hear what he had to say. I was too, actually.
Yeah.
Because
me and you've already talked about it a little bit, yeah.
And we played the original.
Yep.
So obviously we have some comparison here. So I wanted to hear like an outsider perspective to this.
That's one thing I really want to push too, is I played the first one a lot.
Yeah, me
I
too.
really liked the first one. I also bought this on PC, XCOM 2. I've played it quite a bit. So I really was just checking it out. So I am, whatever I say about this game, understand that I'm a big fan of the series. I've played it quite a bit. But I was curious about what Chris has to say too, because I don't think, did you play the first one?
No.
Yeah, so I was curious to see if your views would kind of align with ours, because if you go online, there's a pretty big consensus of people who have similar concerns with the game, and even one of our coworkers said some stuff similar to that. So it's really interesting.
It is.
I'm glad I'm not the odd man out.
Yeah, I was about to say, saying all that stuff like, oh, I had trouble with this, I had trouble with that, this is overcomplicated, blah, blah, blah. Like, the whole time I'm like, I hope he doesn't feel like he's alone on that, because a lot of people say this. And it's really crazy. I think the big thing here, and I'll talk about my impressions here in a sec, but the big thing here with XCOM 2 is I feel like XCOM 2 was rushed. I also feel like XCOM 2 was made almost as if it was an expansion to the first XCOM. It does not offer a beginner's area. The video up here that you guys might see, if it's the right section, is like the second level, and I lost almost all my fucking characters. I know what I'm doing in the game. There's a part where, just to test it, one of these fucking matches you guys might be seeing, just to test shit, because I was kind of fucking just like, okay, let's see if this thing works. There's an alien out in the open. I sent a guy right up to him, like three squares away from me. I had like 83% to hit him. Shot at him, missed him completely. He ran out in the open to my left, turned around, shot me, and killed me. And I was like, this happens too fucking much. So anyway, my impressions. I want to love this game because it has everything there that I love. Your characters level, they get really interesting perks you get to pick. You get to craft really cool weapons. I like the way the game looks. I like the music. I like the cinematography of it when you're jumping through windows and shit. Very action packed, very cool. You feel like you got a bunch of badasses until you shoot at things. Then you realize these guys are fucking stormtroopers. Yep. Doesn't matter how fucking high level they are. This game almost feels like it's trying to fucking punish you. It has all the means of being a game I would be obsessed with, as obsessed with XCOM as I was. But it is so fucking muddied by systems that don't work correctly. And I remember when it first came out, people were complaining about these numbers, and people were like, oh, just get good. And it's like a mass majority of people were saying this. And every once in a while I'll have a match where fucking it doesn't happen, but for majority it does. It, like these numbers that don't matter, I feel like I'm missing constantly. So it's something that I assumed they would have fixed. It was such an obvious problem that so many people were complaining about when it first came out, and I played it on PS4, and they didn't even do anything different. It feels the same, and the fucking controls aren't as good on PS4, which it's a controller, I get that, but this game plays a lot better on keyboard and mouse. But it doesn't change the experience really. It just, for me on PS4, made the experience more frustrating for me. Already, wanting to love this game, I'm like, oh fuck, I leveled up, this is cool, and I play, I'm around, and I'm just frustrated that I can't hit anything ever. And then the controls, I'm just like, fucking, you get them down after a while, but like, it just feels wonky moving around where you want to go and having that weird line. And it would like auto make the line where you're going to run. And like one time he barely nicked the corner of one of the areas that the aliens could see, and it didn't show me that he was going to do that. So like I got spotted, and then instantly those fucking guys who can get in your brain, they're there from like the first fucking level after the tutorial. Those guys should come in later. They can fucking get in your brain from like 12 blocks away. You can't even shoot them half the time. They're so fucking far away, and they can do it. And a lot of times too, when they like assemble for combat, they get to move like fucking like 5 blocks and then go into combat phase. And it's like if this is how the game's going to be, make that happen later. It feels way too aggressive in the beginning of the game. After you get past that tutorial, which it like anyone dies is planned to die, it throws you in the fucking game, and like with your low level characters. And like if you can get past those first 2 levels and keep some people alive and get some leveled up people, you feel like you got a chance. But most people are going to lose somebody on the first and second level. Everyone I've talked to, there's a lot of people fucking, and anyone I've seen in forums talking about this has lost people in those first couple levels, and it fucks you because the further you get into that game, the harder it gets. And it's already fucking like, it has a horrible fucking difficulty scale. Thank you. And it's crazy because, like I said, this game is a game I should fucking love. It has everything about it is perfect. Just fix the numbers, fix the systems in the game, and I will love it. Just fix it. I'm sure there's mods on Steam. I should go play it on there and find some mods that fix that shit, since Firaxis didn't do that. But yeah, the game is just frustrating. And the most frustrating thing about it, like I said, is I want to like it because it has everything in it I like. I just can't. The system sucks. The mechanics don't work well.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. This is fucking stupid. How the fuck did I hit that person? How the hell did that person shoot me so fucking perfectly? on it's just constant. There's never a break. I'm just always like how the fuck, like as a joke after all, I'm like, fuck it. So anyway, and I love the first game.
So I pretty much share everything Seth just said. I played the first game quite a bit, loved it, felt like it had a good pacing, even when I lost people. It was occasionally, not constantly.
Yep. And there's like weight to it. You're like, fuck, I lost that guy. I like kind of grew with that character. Now they're dead. This game, it's like you get new people and they're all cannon fodder.
Putting Game of Thrones to shame, man.
Yeah. Let me in there. I'm gonna. Oh.
So
no, not John. No, not Mary. No, Tom went down. I'm dead.
Yeah. The first thing I did when I turned on this game is I went in and I made like 10, 11 characters or something like that.
Big mistake.
Yeah, well, yeah, because then they were my characters, and then when I played the game, I don't know how it starts without doing that, but I had all those characters; they were mine, so I didn't have to like do the random buying of characters. Even though I saw that feature obviously unlock, I didn't do it because I had so many. Well, for a few matches, they started dropping like flies, and I had every type of class in there. I had some characters who managed to live long enough to make it to rank 2, rank 3, or whatever, and then some stupid happenstance would occur, and they'd be fucking gone, and it didn't matter what my strategy would have been at that point. It just the fucking amount of shit that led up to their death it's Looney Tunes, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And it sucks because like all three of us, I like turn-based tactic games. There's something there. You can play it at your own pace.
Oh yeah.
You can get as deep into it as you want or
I
as
just love
shallow as you want.
strategizing.
Usually,
Yeah.
you want to be that person who wants to grind out and just make super strong characters and don't have to think about it too much. You could do that. You want a little challenge. You just try to push yourself through the game and rely more on tactics. You can't do that in this game, and the biggest reason for that is virtually every fucking mission has like a time limit or turn limit.
And it's like 7 or 9 turns.
Yeah.
Which even if you're like doing a challenge mode or whatever, even if you think that's fair, that's still not enough time to like invest in a battle. It's not fun.
That's not a lot of time at all.
No, you're forced to move forward constantly, which
Every fucking battle is just move forward.
would be okay, except for to come up to the number thing and fuck whoever says get good. You're rolling dice.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a sniper character, for example, right? Good cover, clear line of sight to a person who was not in cover, 50% chance to hit. I don't fucking get that, right? Yeah. So I couldn't hit. Even Overwatch misses half the time in this game.
Yep. No. And watch the video up in the corner because I recorded a lot of that shit. Almost every time they're in Overwatch and I ran, they'd hit me.
Murder the shit out of you.
If I was in Overwatch and they ran, I never hit them. I hit one guy for 3 once.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, so their accuracy is too high. Yours is too low, regardless of whatever the fucking numbers say. And that you're put in situations that, right off the bat, I'm saying, if this is later, like you said, it'd make a little more sense, right?
That's why it feels
But
like
in
it should be an extension of the first game.
Fucking game where you're put in a position where you have 6 turns to go shut a computer off or blow it up or whatever, let's say. Mm-hmm. You have to rush in there with your 4 people versus their 6 to 8 people they have, and usually one of them is that mind control dude. And the mind control move's not even the part that bothers me. It's that they very smartly, will sit back and wait for one of their guys to die, and they reanimate it. Yep. And then you get close enough, they go, I'm going to try to mind control. And if it fails, your person gets all freaked out and doesn't do anything anyway. So you just lose that
they did
unit.
change something, because when I first played it on PC, when they did mind control, is more often they would shoot my guys than the other guy. In this, they never shot my own people. So if my people got mind controlled, they would just freak out and then shoot at the aliens and always miss them, but they'd shoot at them and then freak out. But when I played it on PC, they go, ugh, and just unload into my teammates and like kill them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that didn't happen this time with me. To add on to a couple things there, I didn't feel comfortable with shooting at anything unless I had over 83%.
I never even saw that number.
Really?
Yeah.
I got 83% a lot. That's why I'm saying that specific number, because I'd get that. I'm like, okay, I think I got a 50% chance of hitting this person with 83%, which is ridiculous. Also, spawning is stupid. There was a part in like the third level I was playing where I had two guys go right, two guys flank left, and I killed the guys in the middle. And as they're all in cover and I just killed them, when the next phase started, it's like alien activity. And some fucking random dudes just showed up out of the fog to the left of my guy. And he'd been there for multiple turns, so they weren't, and there was no alien activity over there before, so they spawned there.
Yeah.
And they showed up and killed him right there on their turn. And I was like, okay, so you just spawn aliens and kill my dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about my strategy. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep.
So I felt like I had less to do with what the fuck was happening in the game. There was another mission where I was running out of, I had barely any time for the combat that was happening. I had to get a fucking scientist out of there. So I literally just made him run while I was in combat. I had all my guys fucking fighting the aliens. I had him run through. The aliens couldn't hit him. He was on their fucking level when it came to not being able to be hit, because he was just running and getting shot at, and they couldn't hit him. But then my guys were shooting them. He got to the helipad or whatever, and he got out. All my characters got left behind because I had to keep them behind so to keep fighting the aliens. I was like, that didn't feel good at all. That wasn't fun.
I had one mission play out like that for me where I lost all 4 of them because I ran out of time. And it was just like, MIA.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
what?
captured or whatever, yeah. And then another thing that really drives me crazy, and again, this is random numbers. This isn't fucking get good. The panic thing in the first game I thought was a really cool system, because if something crazy happened, especially if like one of your characters got killed in front of another character, they'd freak out.
Sure.
And I thought that was a really neat system.
Play Darkest Dungeon.
Or like,
like that stuff.
Fucking car blew up next to them. They'd be like, ah! In this, I'd have like people who had leveled already. So they're like higher level people. And as soon as they got into combat with aliens, as soon as they showed up, and I'd fire at them and they'd fire at me, as soon as they got shot at, they'd fucking panic. Like, whoa! And they'd run the fuck off. It would happen. It happened so often. It happened about 3 times every single match. My people would panic and freak out. I was like, this is way too often. I constantly have something just fucking me over.
Yeah.
Like, and I like that system. I liked in Far Cry 2 when your gun would jam. I mean, like, I'm not opposed to these things because it adds dynamic situations. You're like, oh, fuck, I got to think right now. But when it happens constantly, it's just ridiculous. It's not even like it was bad on their part. It's fucking lazy. It's a problem and they didn't fix it.
Yeah.
They didn't care. Like, oh, it's fine. People freak out in combat. If all my soldiers freak out in combat, they should have never fucking been there.
Right.
Right. The game itself has like an artificial difficulty to it, just kind of loaded into it because it felt like they didn't want to fix the numbers or something. It just feels, like you said, lazy.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Like I want it to be like the Final Fantasy Tactics, where I'm just playing it for hours on end. That's what I was anticipating, but
yeah, if they fixed the numbers in the game, it would be an amazing game that I'd probably be giving like a fucking A- to, because I love strategy games. I love XCOM. I love leveling and strategizing in combat, and feeling that reward of like getting through a combat phase and not losing anybody, or like you lost one person, like shit, that sucks, but you know, I still got my other guys and they're all leveling from it. So we got a new recruit, we're gonna level him up and get him caught up or whatever, her caught up. And fucking this game doesn't have that. It's just constantly like a fucking Ben Stiller movie. It's just bullshit constantly happening to you. Like that's the if they're trying to make like a fucking shitty comedy, they did it. Like, whoa, look what zany thing happened to these guys. What are they gonna do now? Oh, we slipped on a banana.
Pretty much.
Now he's a broom. Like, I don't want to play that.
Anything else we want to add to this part, or we want to attempt
I want to
recommendations?
emphasize again one more time that this game is like systematically, it's like numbers away from being a fantastic game like the last game.
Yeah.
It's their lazy just work on those systems that makes the game that's already made, everything in it's awesome. It just doesn't work right. It doesn't feel good. They're that thing away from it being a great game, which sucks. So if I sound like I'm being negative, It's because I'm a fan of the last game, and I should be a fan of this game because it's already fucking there. It's
Yeah,
got everything I want
agree.
in it. They added like the drones and stuff like that. Like, there's a bunch of new shit. I'm like, oh, this should be awesome. None of it works. You're just getting fucked constantly.
Yeah, I had
Grenades are the most effective weapon in this fucking game.
Oh no, for sure. I use them all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's the only way I could like make sure I was gonna do some damage.
Yep.
Also, that little drone I wanted to love. The only part about it I liked is the guaranteed damage part of it. That's another thing about it. The defense part of it doesn't fucking work.
And even with those tools that are guaranteed damage, like grenades and the drone, and then your guys can't hit shit no matter what. And if they do like 2-3 damage, which I'm sure changes as you level up or whatever. But the game scale, you're starting hard, so as you're leveling up, it gets fucking harder. Even with those guaranteed fucking damage tools that you can use, you still are fucking struggling.
Yeah.
Because they got guys who can shoot you and do damage, and your guys don't do that.
Yep.
It's like, let's get in there and use our zany toys to try and kill these aliens with guns. While we got fucking paintball guns.
Feels like you're in the Terminator movie in the distant future where you're just kind of fucked nonstop over and over again.
So this game should be called Fuck Nonstop 2.
I think people might get the wrong impression.
They might sell more copies. I don't know. Some people might be into that. You know what? That sounds like a good game. Pick that up. And they're gonna play it like they're right. Not what I thought it was gonna be, but they're right. Let's recommend it. I will recommend it to people who are looking for a challenge and liked the last game and want to jump in and just kind of see what they can get done. It's not impossible. Like I said, on PC, I got pretty far into it, but it's still just not fun. But yeah, if you want more XCOM, this is more XCOM with a jankier system, with new stuff. So definitely, if you played XCOM, you should probably play it, but hopefully you got this free. Hopefully you didn't pay for it. If you like strategy games and you're done with all of them and you just want something else to play this. And if you do play it, get on PC and download mods to fix it. Because there's a good game in there somewhere.
When you and you had brought it up earlier, sorry, but like the controls, it was something I did want to say. When as soon as I played, I was like, this feels ported.
It also looks like shit compared to the PC version. And obviously you can make that like, well, PC always looks better. No. You can take a PC game and put it on Warframe on what shall we talk about tomorrow? Warframe on PS4 looks fucking fantastic. It doesn't look as good as fucking PC, but it looks great on PS4.
Yeah.
So, and Warframe looks way better than XCOM. But yeah, I looked at XCOM. I was like, ooh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's just a bastard of a game. Yeah, and controls are janky.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys, I don't want to say to not recommend it to anybody because there are people who are just going to go through the slog. I'm sure as you get further into the game and you get some people leveled finally, you're going to be able to, enjoy the game more. But most people, I feel like most people, especially if you're just fucking dabbling because you got this free game, you're not going to get very far in this. Especially if you didn't play last game. Because you're just going to go, wow, this is really fucking hard. It must be really bad. You're not really bad. This game is just fucked up.
You said the two that I actually even would.
I forgot I was recommending. I was
The
just like,
only two I can
again.
even recommend is that you have to be a fan of XCOM, I think. If this is your first XCOM, may I recommend playing the first XCOM?
play the other one. Yeah. Or get mods.
Of the new ones, I should say.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you like tactical games, it has to be in there, I think, because it is a playable game technically, and
You might get those lucky rolls.
you might get those lucky rolls. I just think that there are a lot of other tactical games that do it better, but if you already have them all
All of them.
this is technically a competent game, I guess. So
Yeah, it should be great.
I would say, like you said, anybody who's looking to play a strategy game but are looking for a non-stop uphill battle. If you want to play a game that's like not in your favor in any way, it feels like this would be the game for you.
That's a good way to put it.
There's the constant struggle. If you want to feel like I said, you're stuck in the Terminator's future distant world where the Terminator's just killing all the humans.
hurt me
You're kinda
good.
digging your way up from the bottom and just kind of like slowly going up a little bit at a time.
If you want a real simulator of what it'd be like if you were a resistance group trying to fight against technologically superior aliens
that own the whole planet. Yeah.
This is the fucking simulator for you, because it is.
Yep.
It feels like I said, when I beat that one level and like the scientists survived but nobody else did, I'm like, this resistance isn't lasting very long. These can't continue to happen if we're losing this many people each fucking skirmish.
Yeah.
This is what it actually would be like if the world got fucking taken over. They'd try to fucking resist, but it's just that over a long period of time, fucking failure.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Chevy's done with this conversation.
I'll grade it though.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna give it a D. I think that, like you said earlier, if they made some very, very small adjustments to this game, it would be an A minus, because it has the potential to be absolutely amazing. But as it stands, I would rather, if I had a physical copy of it, burn it. It sucks.
God.
The second time I went through just trying to really give it a good shot and get the footage for this episode, as soon as I was like, just fucking with the system, see what I can get away with, and test things like shooting things point blank and stuff like that, and just seeing that it's obviously just fucked up, I uninstalled it instantly. I'm not playing it again on PS4.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's a D. It's a playable game, so I won't fail it completely. And I don't think it's, what was that shooter that we all hated? Drawn something.
Drawn to Death.
Not a cartoon.
No, it's Drawn Together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Drawn to Death.
Drawn to Death is fucking garbage.
So
it's fucking awful.
It isn't that game. So it gets a little credit.
That game is an insult. That's like fucking walking up to someone saying hi and they spit in your face, and you take the appropriate response and you get pissed. Same thing with Drawn to Death.
This one is more, you say hi and they say hi back, but everything in their body language is not so hiding that they don't want to be talking to you.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's like having a friend, but like you try to have a conversation with them and it just never happens. They just don't. They're just like, how's it going? Oh, okay. So what have you been up to? Oh, I don't know. Working. Okay. Well, I still like this guy, but I'm not really getting much from this.
Yeah.
Whereas, Drawn to Death, someone spits in your face and tells you to like it.
Pretty much.
Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't judge that, but I judge Drawn to Death.
You do you.
So you gave it a D. I'm going to also emphasize, like I already said before, I would be giving this like an A minus if it was working correctly, in my opinion. I'm going to give it a D plus. I was going to go with a C minus, but then you said D, and I was like, yeah. I mean, I did not enjoy myself. The reason I'm giving a D plus, though, is every once in a while when I would get that fucking hit and I kill somebody and it'd be like level up, if that person survived the next fucking phase and I got him out of there and I got to pick my perk and research some weapons and add some weapons, for that split second, I felt some happiness. I enjoyed myself until I got to the next fight. And I lost them instantly because some fucking alien came out like 20 blocks away and just fucking took me over and ran me into like a fucking exploding car. So yeah, for those brief glimmers of enjoyment, I'll give it the D plus. But other than that, I did enjoy this, and I won't play it again on PS4.
I'm going to give it a very, very weak D as well. Almost D minus. The combat is unforgiving and pretty much unfair, unbalanced. Their menus are very confusing. There's no real introductory level of how to play the game. Like it's bare minimum bones. Yeah. I got stuck in a menu for 10 minutes trying to figure out how to get out of it. I pressed all the buttons over and over again. It was so frustrating, and nothing until it was an equipment menu, and I had to forcefully remove gear from other characters and force it on other characters before it even let me back out. It was so frustrating.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is really like a very, very like the first level, the tutorial level, literally gives you like a sense of like how to move your characters. But yeah, after that, it's like, this is the research place where this happens. And then you go in there, there's menus. Like, okay, so what do the menus do, though? Like, I get the idea of what this place is, but the specifics. And, like, I see how that could affect you. It didn't affect me because I played the last game. But that's why I say this game feels like a fucking expansion. It feels like your characters from the last game should have came over to this game. And it just starts out difficult because it's just like, hey, you played the last game. You're fucking ready for this.
Right.
And, yeah, for anyone new, that it's like, all right, get out there and fucking everybody's dead. And you're like, whoa, I'm really bad at this.
There
Apparently.
was one mission where you had to use the drone for the first time and hack like this beacon.
Yeah.
And I did that the first time, and immediately it failed, and all the aliens were all over my ass. So I restarted the mission. I didn't even fucking bother. I just ignored it. Just went right past it.
Dude, that exact same mission, I hacked it successfully. And it's like, all right, you got that. And as soon as my phase ended, they fucking on the rooftop, I guess, saw it hacking it, which I didn't know was a thing. And they came running over like, wow, 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 and just started shooting at me. I'm like, what the? Why'd you tell me to go fucking hack it if they were gonna see me doing that and they're gonna attack me anyway? What the fuck is the point? Why'd you get me in a situation that I didn't want to be in and say it was gonna be beneficial? Like, that's just bad fucking design. It's frustrating, man.
It is.
It's stupid. It's like, why the fuck is this game constantly just not fun? It should be, but it's not.
I mean, I made Guile from Street Fighter. That was the most fun I had.
So, fun little tidbit. I made.
Sure, I was done with that conversation.
Oh no! It reminded me of it.
Okay.
I made my interpretations, because you can't make very detailed characters in this game,
Yeah.
of all of us and Josh and Trishelle and blah blah blah. All these people.
Man, you really wanted to see us all die.
Chris lived.
Good.
Me and you were probably the first ones to die.
I always assumed in a situation like that, I would die early on, or I'd be the guy who goes fucking crazy and starts shooting my own people.
I made sure to give. No, unfortunately, you didn't even get a fucking turn.
Yeah, well, that doesn't
I was
fucking
just
great.
I ran up, I shot, I missed, and then I died. I was like, okay, well, that was fun. Chris made it to level 3. I quit playing, so you
Level
survived.
3 Chris. It's my favorite level
Trishelle
Chris.
made it to level 2. Both of you were dressed the same. I made you both have pink and purple armor with hearts all over it.
Cool.
That's why we lived. The enemy was so confused. What is this?
Yeah, aliens are colorblind. They saw weird patterns. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, you were Grenader.
Dead.
So you had the grenade launcher on the back and the big old gun or whatever, and I gave Trishelle the little drone or whatever. Yeah. Everyone died. Josh also didn't get a chance to do anything. I made him a grenader as well because I was like, oh, he would want the big weapon.
I played this on PC and I got to see how fucking rough it was, and then I heard you talk about it a little bit, and then so when I started up, I didn't name anybody anything, and I didn't do anything to them. I was like, you all are going to die. I don't want to get to know you, so let's just all just nod at each other
It's like Oregon Trail.
and let's all just if any of us make it to the end, we'll talk then.
Every mission's a suicide mission when I'm in charge.
You survived to the end and you just die from dysentery.
Yes.
I did better when I didn't play tactically. I'm not trying to. I know this whole episode I'm like, I'm trying to beat people's scores. But you're like, oh, what an asshole. Yeah, that's true. But fucking, I'm not trying to sound like I'm bragging here, but like I'm pretty good at strategy in a lot of things, and so like that's one thing I really love about these kind of games. And so playing this, I come up with like a great fucking strategy, and I just can't get them to hit anything. I'm like, this ambush will fucking wipe them all out, and it should be awesome. I should feel rewarded for thinking that up. And then it just doesn't work, and I lose like 2 of my guys. I'm like, what was the fucking point? Why'd I even try?
Yeah.
So then, like, on my last round, I like sent them in running and shooting and shit. And it did better then. But still, like I said, I ran up to a dude who's just out in the open looking at me. And I fucking went, bop, 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 and he's like, whoa. And I'm like, oh my God,
It's
dude.
like I had the sniper, like I said, clear shot right next to him. I had one of those drone people with the defense drone on them, and out next to the enemy, I had a shotgun person rush in to get them, and I didn't kill the person. They fucking murdered the shit out of me. One guy against my 3, like.
Yeah. I had another round 2 where fucking, and like right when it started, I got off a rooftop, and my guys got down, and the aliens already came running in, and And what the fuck happened? One of them shot my dude and killed him instantly. And when he was dead, the psychic dude brought him back up. And then another dude went running at one of my other guys and shot him and killed him. So I had one guy left and a zombie. Or no, two guys left and a zombie and a dead dude right at the beginning. I was like, fuck, okay. Yeah. This isn't even, like, this is ridiculous. And then, of course, on my face is fucking, I think I killed like one of them. And that took 2 people to do. Oh, yeah. It was like a team effort. Like, we're going to try not to get completely wrecked right now. Make them remember this happened, at least. Anyway, anything else you guys want to say on that?
No.
We all graded it?
Yes. We, I think it was D, D, and D+. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 Ds and D+. Let us know in the comments, what did you think about XCOM 2? Did you play it? Did you play XCOM 1? What did you think about XCOM 2 and what we're essentially talking about? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there something we're missing?
We just being little bitch babies.
Yeah, well, I know we're not, because I spent a lot of time in the forums. There's way too many people who agree. Anyone who doesn't agree either is okay with the punishment or they just want to sound cool or whatever.
You don't talk about Firaxis games that way.
Because yeah, it was such a big. There's so many people who agree with it. It's stupid. But yeah, let me know what you think about it, and if you enjoyed it, let me know. Everything you think about when it comes to XCOM and what would you grade it. But that's gonna do it for this episode of Plus Club on Tasty Loot Gaming. Make sure to download those games for next month, which are Absolver, which I'm actually pretty excited to try, and Heavy Rain. Not as excited to try because I've already played it, but I've been playing a lot of Quantic Dream games lately.
Yeah, I'll say I beat Heavy Rain in the past, so
yeah, I'll probably revisit. I never played on PS4, so
yeah. And then Absolver, I wanted to play when they were announcing it, and then it was like competitive only. I was like, oh, they've added stuff since.
They did. They did add co-op stuff to it.
My initial reaction to that game was a little negative.
This is a game I've been very excited about, but when I found out you could only fight against other people at first, I was like, I like that shit, but I don't like competitive melee games really. They kind of drive me nuts. Yeah. Chivalry was probably one of the only ones I could kind of get into, just because you could throw fucking spears into people, and I liked that.
With For Honor as well.
Yeah, so. I couldn't do it. I couldn't play that. But yeah, fuck. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out the streams on the channel and on Twitch at Tasty Senpai, all one word. Chris is also on Twitch at Tasty_fruit. Make sure to hit the notification button to know when we go live. And Discord, down in the description box. You want to talk to us anytime, do that. We always got something going on in there, and a lot of inside jokes that make it to the show. So if you want to kind of be on the inside, fucking come join us there. And iTunes and all that other stuff, you want to listen to us. And if you're listening to us, check us out on YouTube. But until the next episode, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Which is tomorrow. So until tomorrow, have a great night, guys, and take it easy.
Bye.
Bye. Oh.